Oh my God, I have no idea. I'm a terrible singer. So like I don't think that like has ever really entered my mind. Like I try not to sing even by myself because I'm like, wow, I suck. Like
It's crazy for me because the first thing I thought of was like I automatically knew like what my best friend want like her go-to karaoke song. But then
yeah,
I was like, wait, me?
yeah.
And then the first song that came to my mind is like Pink Pony Club by Chappell Roan.
That's a good one. I do like that song a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. Bohemian Rhapsody maybe. Like I'm thinking about like songs that I know the lyrics to and there's not many.
Like Summer Lovin' by Grease, if
Yeah.
you have someone with you.
Yes. And I need to be drunk enough to do it. So like maybe 2 shots before I do it.
Okay, it's a little liquid courage.
A little bit, yes.
I don't like singing in front of people, which now like I used to be in choir and I used to do it all the time, but like solos and me, myself, and I, no, 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 no. I think right before the pandemic, we went out to do karaoke, and Jimmy was like, "Yeah, I'll do it," and I was like, "Really?" He's like, "Yeah, I'll do it," and I'm like, "Oh, okay." And he's like, "Do you want to do it?" I'm like, "No,
No,
mm-mm.
absolutely.
I will sing along in the background."
Yeah.
I'm
I like a
not.
good sing along. That's okay.
Yeah.
Right? If you plan It's a Small World or something like that. I could
Oh
do that
my,
all day
yeah.
long.
I'll sing along with other people, or like the princess sing along.
The old Disney like videos. Yes.
Where they had the
little Mickey head that was
yeah.
bouncing. Yep.
Oh my goodness. It makes me wonder, like, my parents have all of those Disney VHS tapes like in their basement.
Yeah.
And part of me is like
Like the old school, like the big white thing.
yeah,
Yes.
and it's just like when it opens up and you're like, "Oh God." I just don't know what like where do I buy a VHS player to even play those? Like, are they even still good?
It's probably like a resale shop. We would have to.
Yeah, but
Are they still? I don't even know if. I mean, they definitely don't make new ones
so it's
anymore.
like, how am I going to plug it into the TV? They don't have the yellow, white, red thing anymore.
Well, I guess you just. I don't know. Well, no, there's like a splitter thing. It's like a little circle, like a thing.
Oh, and then you plug it into
yes.
the.
Because I bought one because my brother's coming soon, and I'm gonna try and hook the PlayStation, like the old, like PlayStation 1, to our TV. And I know like I need that thing. But then further than that, I'm like, I don't really know. I have all the wires.
All right, you want to get started?
Let's do it.
All right. Well, welcome to Laugh It Like It's Hot. We are on episode 10. This is our 10th
Episode 10.
Yeah, we
Yes.
did it. So this week we're going to talk a little bit about the Indy GP. So we are now officially in the month of May.
Yes.
And we're going to talk a little bit about Alex Palou again. And then we're going to spend the end talking about our Indy 500 and what
So
we're planning
excited.
on doing, what we're excited about. Maybe we'll do some spicy predictions and talk a little bit there. And have I started packing for it? Of course I have.
Yeah, I started today. I started doing the laundry and just putting all my stuff aside.
Yep.
Yes, because I'm very excited. But I will tell you, I am a bad race fan, and I could not get through this race to save my life. I fell asleep the first time, and then I tried to watch it at work, and I kept getting distracted. So I can contribute nothing to this episode. I apologize.
Listen, if you came in today and said, "Yeah, I watched it, Alex Palou won," I would have been like, "Great, awesome,
good you watched
Good
it."
job."
Yeah.
But you're not the only one that was sleeping during this race because the numbers for the weekend came out and only 700-ish thousand people watched the race,
Oh, shit.
which is lower than NBC's coverage last year. I think it was around 800. Fox is still up 15%, I believe, from last year. But how long can they ride the coattails of St. Pete being so good where you're like, okay, that race padded your numbers. The last 4 races have been significantly lower. So we did see today they did change some of the times for some of the races to get more prime time slots, aka not compete with NASCAR.
Yeah, hopefully that works out for them because, yeah, that's pretty sad.
I know.
They're not getting the numbers that they want.
I also think there's no streaming option that's easy, especially internationally.
You know what? Like, I felt like, so I did try to like see if I can watch it after. And there, like, I had a hard time finding where it is. I mean, it's on YouTube.
Yeah.
It's the only place really, but like it takes a little bit for them to put it on YouTube.
Yeah, I think it takes a few hours after the race for you to watch it on YouTube. And I wanted to just say, hey, like, I can't watch the race if I'm not home. I don't have like the Fox app. I don't have those pieces if I'm out and about to just say, hey, let me watch the race from whenever. I used to have that with Peacock. I would literally take the dog on a walk and sit on a bench while he's running around, and I would watch the race. I'm not paying I think it's what, $90 a month for YouTube TV just to watch racing?
Yeah.
Granted, I probably would, but I was like, wait a minute, $90 is steep.
We have enough
Streaming services.
Yeah. We have enough.
So, of course, the Indy 500 is going to be a huge event. They're going to get tons of viewers. So they're going to get an influx of viewership for this race. Detroit will be a true testament of if that fall off is still going to continue. So we'll see.
Well, and they have like now it's the back-to-back races, so it's not like the huge gaps, right? So hopefully that's like the steam it'll pick up steam from here.
Hopefully. But let's talk a little bit about the race. So Alex Palou won.
Shocker.
Woo, and got pole. Woo. So he is now the first driver to win 3 straight since Will Power in Brazil in 2012.
Oh.
So we like Alex, but please. There was a moment when Graham Rahal overtook Alex in the first lap. I was like,
I did watch that part. I was awake for that, and that was exciting. And like, I think we were texting back and forth, like, "Oh my God, are you watching this? Oh my God!"
It's like Graham is Graham going to win this? Yeah. Oh my God, and RLL is going to win this? And then you were like, oh. Yeah. But our podium was Alex, and then we had Pato in second place. So Pato heard my spiciness about him not being the number 1 McLaren driver and decided to actually show up and work. Good. And Will Power in third, which is basically, when you look at Indy GP and Barber, it's the same podium based on teams, just different drivers. Okay. So it's just Alex Palou and then different flavors of who else can try to beat him.
Okay. I mean, whatever.
But we did finally have a yellow.
Yes.
So poor Davey Malukas caused the first yellow after like 400 plus laps of green. He stamped his sacrifice to the IMS Speedway, so hopefully he has a good 500 now.
but it wasn't very long, right?
No.
The yellow.
It was very short. Yeah. But the way Will Buxton and James Hinchcliffe and Townsend screamed, like they were like, guys, are we going to get a yellow? Are we going to? And they're like, I could hear all IndyCar fans across the world literally cheer when the yellow came out. They had the camera on the flag stand waiting to see if they're going to throw the yellow. That's how crazy that yellow was. But overall, I think it was an exciting race until about lap 30. The tire strategy helped Pato and Will move up, I think, a little bit, but I don't think it added anything outside of that. And my fun fact is Pato is actually closer to missing the leadership circle, which is 99 points, than actually catching Palou for the championship.
What's the leadership circle? So
the leadership circle is the top 22 cars. They get a lump sum of money as a bonus for making it in the top 22.
Got it.
So he's technically, if he lost 99 points, he'd be out of the circle. But he would have to win and gain like 200 points to even beat Alex Palou in the championship.
Well, that's sad.
Yeah. So it was just a crazy time. The podium was possibly the most chaotic podium I've ever seen in my life. There were no driver interviews.
That's weird.
The camera was just aimlessly following Alex Palou around.
I wonder why. Did they just not get their shit together quick enough, or like what?
I've never. This has nothing to do with the lovely team that does the podiums, but it just felt like the broadcast and like the cameras didn't know what to do. And then they forgot the champagne.
No.
So the announcer at IMS was like, "All right, ladies and gentlemen, and now it's time to get the bubbly out or whatever."
And then like, what do I do with my hands?
And Will Power just goes, and I'm like, they forgot the champagne, and then the corks got stuck in two of the bottles. So they were trying to pop them, and then the cork got stuck. So then someone had to bring like one of the engineers or pit crew had a tool in like his pocket, and they had to like pop it out. And they eventually had the champagne. But I was watching this, and I'm like, I've never seen it this chaotic. Like even at Thermal, their first year, I was like, they were not prepared.
I blame Fox.
It's Fox or nothing.
Fox or nothing. It's your fault, Fox. Get it together, man.
Oh my goodness. But our biggest mover of the race was Rinus VeeKay. Nice. So Rinus has definitely been showing up. Whoever thought that a Dale Coyne would be in the top 10 in the championship right now, Dale's probably crying happiness, knowing awesome. That they picked him up. So, yeah. A little update around Indy NXT. So they also had 2 races this week. Lockie Hughes for Andretti got the pole, which is...
At least some Andretti is winning.
Maybe they're taking all the luck because Lockie then won the race. Yeah. And then for race 2, Dennis Hauger with Andretti won the race.
I'm like, what the hell's happening here? But like I said, an Andretti win is an Andretti win. We'll take it, but...
Oh my goodness. But this was Dennis Hauger's 3rd win in 4 races. And the last time that happened was in 2018 with Pato O'Ward. So he's definitely, I forget, the Norwegian nightmare. That's what they're calling him because he's Alex Palou-ing the Indy next season. Okay. So not only are we getting an Alex Palou IndyCar season, we're getting a Dennis Hauger Indy next season. So, but
good for him.
Yeah.
Good for him.
But overall, the race was pretty good. I think there were some good moments. Having all 3 RLL cars in the Fast 6, first time in history that happened.
I'm sure David Letterman was thrilled.
Oh, I bet. And he was there. He was actually at
there.
the race.
Yeah.
I remember on the broadcast when Jack was interviewing him, he's like, I prefer you better driving a car. And Jack's like, same.
Yeah, it's like, I know.
Give me a seat,
the best
please.
I
got. But RLL always has had a strong showing at the Indy road course. So I don't know why they always find performance there. The Indy road course is the most European type of road course. So a lot of like previous F2 drivers or anyone that raced in the European circuits, they do well there because it's probably the most similar that they're used to from the international tracks. But my biggest winners, of course, are going to be Chip Ganassi Racing with Alex Palou and Scott Dixon. So Scott Dixon, if he would have qualified better, I think he would have been in contention for a podium. So Dixie needs to start qualifying a little bit better because he has some pace in that car. Poor Kiffin didn't start the race. He had an issue. Bummer. So, but outside of that, you could even see the data that Chip Ganassi is sharing with Meyershank Racing. Like whatever they're doing over there, it's working well. Yep. But we did have some biggest losers.
Shocker, who's going to be on the biggest losers? Just say it. Just say it. Just say it.
Andretti minus Kyle Kirkwood. They forgot about 2 other cars.
I just can't. I don't even want to talk about it.
Now we're a broken record. Like, how is Colton, what did he do in a previous life that gave him this much bad luck?
Or he doesn't even have any luck. There's just not even bad luck. It's just no luck at all.
He needs to go and see, like, a monk and get like cleansed,
saged.
Yeah, his aura needs to be cleaned. Like he had Andretti in general had a horrible qualification. None of the cars made it to the Fast 12. You had another horrible pit stop for Colton. He got banged up in the first 2 laps, so he had to pit. It's just, and then there's Marcus Ericsson.
Where is he? Where has he been?
I'm sorry, but you're not performing. You are Checo Perezing the Andretti team right now. Like he's just I'm sorry, but like he can't finish a race.
No.
He can't. Like, I know he now.
I know.
I
can't even, like, yeah, we just need to move on.
Kyle did well. He did qualify poorly, but he did move up the field through an alternate strategy. So he was like the saving grace for the Andretti team. But there's now a lot of rumors, which when the rumor mill starts spiraling, that Colton is no longer in contention for that Cadillac seat. Mm-hmm. And part of me is like, 5 races in, and they're already like, okay.
Yeah. Well, I mean, because I know there was like rumors that he was and stuff like that, but there was something that he kind of wasn't really in the running anyway, right? Like there was something about his super license or whatever.
He would have to basically be second in the championship to get enough super license points to compete. And we also have to remember that Cadillac F1 is not Andretti F1. So initially when they re-signed Colton and gave him the mega contract in IndyCar, Andretti was like, when we're in F1, that seat is yours. Well, I think now it's Cadillac with Andretti Global personnel. Mm-hmm. I don't think that they have enough oomph in the room to be like, hey, ironically, Checo Perez is in contention for that seat. You have someone who's a veteran race winner, raced for Red Bull, mm-hmm. versus Colton, who's never raced in that series.
Yeah.
I want the poor guy to just, if this is his way of winning the 500, I will give this to him. Like he needs something, a championship or a 500.
Yeah.
So, and then the other team I had was Prema.
Another one. I'm so sorry, Italians.
Spicy Monica's coming in, okay?
Okay.
So on the Marshall Pruitt podcast this week or last week, Marshall was talking a little bit about the spectacle of Prema. When you walk into the paddock, they have one of the nicest hospitality spaces, like even better than the Andretti one. They have spent a lot of money being there, and they have the best everything, but the vibe is they're acting like they know everything because they
typical Italian fashion, right? Yeah. Isn't that what they do?
But because they were so good in all other Europeans like sectors, they're like, this is going to be a walk in the park, and it hasn't. And one thing that I found out through Marshall's podcast, they don't prioritize pit stop training. So normally, like, you'll see, like, in between races, you'll see on social, like, you'll see, like, David Malukas sitting in the Foyt garage, and they're practicing pit stops. Mm-hmm. Not a priority right now at Prema. And they're the slowest pit stop team on the grid by, like, 3-4 seconds.
That's embarrassing.
Right? Like, if you don't have the pace of the car and you're figuring it out, and there's probably amazing men and women that work there, and they probably have pretty good pit crew, but if you're not practicing and building those muscles, how are you supposed to compete?
I wonder why. Like, are they thinking now it's a lot harder than they thought it was going to be? They thought it was going to be a cakewalk because, I don't know, these Americans don't know.
I think so. When you think of Prema, you think of F2, and you think of the amazing talent that came out of there, right, that is sitting in Kimi Antonelli. You look at, what's it?
Oscar?
Oscar, yep. Ollie Behrman. Like, you see these newer drivers that are in F1, and they're great. And Robert Schwartzman is an incredible driver. He was part of the Ferrari Academy and decided to step back from that so that he could do IndyCar. And this poor guy's car is either blowing up, radio's not working, strategy? And then you have Callum Ilott, who's raced an IndyCar, who's just kind of like there.
Okay, yeah. Kind of a fix it again, Tony, kind of situation.
Yeah. Hot take. I would not be surprised if a Prema gets bumped for bump day for the 500. Yeah. And that's going to be, one, very embarrassing and devastating to whichever driver ends up being bumped. So, Prema,
get it together.
Get your shit together.
So, okay, so if a car does get bumped, could they switch drivers, or that driver is going to get bumped? Do you know what I mean?
I don't know 100%, but my initial gut is they couldn't.
They couldn't switch.
They couldn't switch.
So it's like whoever, like the car, like the driver in the car is going to get bumped.
Yes. But then part of me is like, wait a minute.
I wonder what the rules say.
TK did a refresher course, or will be doing a refresher course tomorrow, so after this podcast is out, to be Kyle Larson's backup. So technically he could jump in the car before the race to relieve Kyle Larson if there's a weather delay and he has to go to the 600. Mm-hmm. So then part of me is like, if Bobby qualifies and Callum gets bumped and they say, Callum, you're going in because you have the best chances for results. Mm-hmm. I technically don't see an issue with that, because the car is the entry. If that makes sense, it's not the driver.
Yeah.
Which is crazy, because in F1 it's the driver and the car, but in IndyCar, as long as you don't have more than 3 drivers a season, you can have 3 different drivers for one car, because the number of the car, like the 83 qualifies, not Robert Schwartzman.
Got it. Okay.
So after seeing the field after day 1 of practice, I think Robert Schwartzman only did 10 laps on the first day, and I'm like, oh God, okay, now I'm a little nervous.
Not looking good. Not looking good for the Premas.
No, but overall the race was it was okay. I don't know what. Well, when we were there in 2023, Alex Palou won. He did finally, someone three-peated. Mm-hmm. He won in 23, 24, and 25. So this track is good for him.
Yeah.
But today on the broadcast, Hinch did mention there's people like Will Power, Scott Dixon, who won 6-7 races during a championship and then ended up not winning the championship.
Yeah.
So while the racing may have gone down a little bit because the same person keeps winning, there is a chance now. Alex Palou has never won on an oval in his entire IndyCar career.
I was going to say that because I looked that up. He has never won on an oval. So is he going to break the streak? Or is this place going to follow him?
I don't know. But I think that's a good segue to talk a little bit about the 500. Mm-hmm. Alex Palou has had a pole in the 500. So he's fast, and even just after the first 2 days of practice, he is still the fastest, or one of the fastest cars out there. I think that Alex is not the cool, calm, collected Alex Palou on an oval, because I think while he's comfortable, I think he's still learning. Like Joseph Newgarden I think can feel it. Like he knows, like, okay, I got to do this. I think Alex is still learning that.
Yeah.
So, but we've had quite a few pole sitters that are on the current grid.
Yes, we have. So we have Helio Castroneves. So in 2003,
it's a long time ago.
2007, 2009, 2010. Scott Dixon in 2008, 2015, 2017, 2021, and 2022. Ed Carpenter in 2013, 2014, and 2018. Marco Andretti in 2020, Alex Palou in 2023, and Scotty Mack in 2024.
When I saw Marco, I was like, I had to double check. I was like, wait, he got
really?
pole in 2020? But I forgot that was the empty 500 where no one was there.
Yeah.
So I'm like,
2020.
Yeah. I was like, oh my gosh, Marco Andretti's on this list? So
yeah. Well, he made a list.
Yeah, look at him. he has a pole.
He's got a pole. Oh man. And then so previous winners, I know we've talked about this before, who's on the current grid. So Joseph Newgarden 23 and 24, Marcus Ericsson in 22, Takuma Sato in 2020 and 2017, Helio in 2021, 2009, 2002, 2001, Will Power in 2018, Alex Rossi in 2016, Ryan Hunter-Reay in 2014, and Scott Dixon in 2008.
It just baffles me that Scott Dixon only has one 500 win.
Right? I know. For that, same with Will.
I know. I when I was looking at these lists, I was like, wait, Scott won in 2008? I graduated high school in 2008. That was the last time he won the 500, and he was polled in 2021 and 2022. Mm-hmm. So
interesting. Yeah,
I know there's there's a good chunk of winners out there. Elio, of course, is doing the drive for 5.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see.
And Takuma Sato is back too.
Yes, he is. So potentially for his third. So Joseph and Takuma are going for their third. Mm-hmm. So I don't know, but we are approaching qualies and bump day this weekend. So like we said, in 2024, Scotty Mack got the pole. It was actually the fastest pole position ever in IndyCar history.
Cool.
So it was at 234.22 miles per hour.
Crazy.
I'm sorry. What?
Yeah, I can't even fathom that at all. How do they just the decision making at that speed? I can't.
I know that they do a lot of reflex training, and I know we always see the cat wall or the tennis balls where they're dropping the tennis balls, right? That can't just be it.
Yeah.
Reaction time is reaction time, but when you're going almost 240 miles an hour in a circle, mm-hmm. How is that? And this is an average of 4 laps for qualies. This isn't like he did a one and done. This was 4 laps where he was able to average 234, which I'm assuming that means that first lap was faster. It's
outrageous.
I know. But last year we did have an all Penske front row. So we had McLaughlin, Newgarden, and Power. So Penske is very, very good at the speedway. They always have either qualified in the front row or have been part of the front row. So I don't think that that's going to change. But from a qualifying perspective for bump day, Nolan Siegel was actually an entry, and he was bumped. So he actually crashed on his final qualifying attempt, which prevented him from making the field. And this allowed Felix Rosenqvist to actually make it into the 500. Oh. Which when I was watching it last year, I was like, Fro, really? I was like, really? You might get bumped? Mm-hmm. No, right? But between Nolan, Felix, and Catherine Legg with Nolan's crash, and I remember TK went over to him and gave him a pep talk, and this was before he was even a McLaren driver, so he was a baby.
Yeah, he's young, right?
Yeah, he's very young. But notoriously for the race, the 4-hour weather delay. Mm-hmm. Fingers, toes, that the weather gods cooperate.
So far, the weather's looking okay.
I'm going to knock on wood.
Yeah.
So because of the heavy thunderstorms, it was a 4-hour delay, and not a single person left the track.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
So there was lightning and everything like that. And then with that, Kyle Larson could not fulfill the double, because then when he flew to the 600, it started raining there. So that's why he is doing it again. And then, of course, I cried a little bit when Joseph Newgarden took over Pato at the end, making him second again.
That was a hard one, because it was right there.
I know. He is just, and he was second at in Indy for the Grand Prix, and I was like, man, this guy just loves being the bridesmaid.
The bridesmaid.
And when is it finally going to happen? And don't get me wrong, Joseph Newgarden is so good on ovals, oval specialist. Mm-hmm. But Pato is too. And when I saw him crying, I was just like, oh my god,
you felt it. Yeah,
I felt it. Yeah. I think everyone felt it. Mm-hmm. People were probably excited for Joseph. But I think there were a lot of Pato fans being like, when is it going to happen? But the track itself, though, it's probably one of the coolest places you're ever going to see, especially when it's filled with almost 400,000 people.
Yeah, so this will be my first time going to the Indy500. We went to the GP, but it was not even a quarter full of people. Yeah. So how many... 400,000 people, did we say? Or are the tickets sold out?
It's not sold out yet. They are ahead of schedule. I think it's 375,000, but I don't think that counts the team personnel, the drivers. There's probably thousands of people that are there working the event. Yeah. So I'm assuming probably 400,000. You have that lovely little neighborhood right around the speedway where people are watching the race from their garages. Yeah. It's a
cool atmosphere.
Oh yeah, 100%.
So talking about the track, it is 2.5 miles. So it's a rectangular oval that's pretty much unchanged since it was built first in 1909. But the first 5,500, oh my God, the first 500 was in 1911. It has two 6.25 miles straightaways, four geometrically identical 2.5 turns, and it's connected by two 1.25 miles short straightways, which are called the short chutes, between 1 and 2 and between turns 3 and 4. So it has a 9-degree banking. So like I just think of that picture of Jack Harvey, and it's like that bank that's like so steep. This one is relatively flat compared to the other American raceways.
Oh yeah.
And it is 200 laps, which is obviously 500 miles.
I know. It would be crazy if it would be like Talladega, where it's just like
it's crazy to see that. I didn't realize that until when he posted that picture. I was like, holy crap.
I'm like, okay. Mm-hmm. But the track itself, you're going to have all of the grandstands around the outside of the actual track, but then you also have the inside of the track. So you're going to have the snake pit, like really just people partying and dancing, and then you're going to have there's all of GA, so people are going to sit around all the grass and things like that. It is such a wonderful atmosphere. So for some predictions, I still think Alex Palou is going to get pole. I think he's still going to do it. But I have Scott Dixon winning the Indy 500. I think that he is always there. He's always consistent. I don't think he's like Pato as in second, but he doesn't make mistakes. Yeah. And as long as if Alex Palou is good, that means that Scott Dixon has the same information to be even better. Mm-hmm. And I also think Will Power might be in contention for that as well.
I'm surprised that you're not going to say Pato. I feel like
not jinxing it.
You don't want to jinx it. Okay, no. So I'll jinx it. So I'm like I'm like pulling for that Pato win just because it's the 2-time second place winner. It's a hard place to be at. So I'm pulling for Pato. I'm saying pole. Fuck it. Let's say Marco.
Could you imagine?
Yes. I bought the t-shirt today, so I got my t-shirt. So let's go, Marco. And then sleeper Rossi. I love a good Rossi success story.
Well, now he's a dad.
He is a dad,
which took I
don't think he said anything to anybody that his wife was pregnant, right?
It was the most Rossi thing ever. Just to be like, hey guys, guess what? I had a baby.
Yeah, we had a baby, and the baby's here right now.
Yeah. And then it literally, the baby came on Wednesday, and then I literally raced and did my job on Saturday. Yep. Okay. All right. Well, I think Rossi might be good because ECR is fairly good at the speedway. But how mad would you be if Marco won or got pole and it's not Colton or Kyle or
I know but I guess the Andretti win is a win, like I keep saying, so I don't know. So I wanted to talk a little bit about the milk tradition. So traditionally the winner usually drinks like a carton of milk. It's like a glass bottle from the Indiana Dairy Association or something like that. So the tradition is in 1936, Louis Meyer, who won, was told by his mom to drink buttermilk after the race. That it'll replenish him and it's refreshing on a hot day or something like that. So he was the first person. I guess there was a dairy exec or something like that was like, hey, we can bank on this, right? Oh, yeah. So it was happening in 1936 as well. So the tradition officially started in 1956. Okay. And the Dairy Association also gave the winner the bonus if they actually did drink the milk. There was a $400 bonus at that time. So it's a good incentive to have.
$400 back then was a lot of money.
Right. So from 1956, actually until 1993 was the first person who did not drink milk, which was Emerson Fittipaldi. He refused to drink the milk. He wanted to promote the Brazilian export of orange juice. Shut up. So he drank orange juice instead, and he got so much flack for it. So I think they backpedaled and he tried to save it, but I don't think it was very savable for him. But yes, I think he eventually did, but that was the only time that it broke was in 1993.
For such a steeped in tradition that the 500 is, breaking that, and I wouldn't have been surprised if people actually booed while he would. Oh, yeah.
People were very upset. Like, it was very, very upset. So, the options now are whole milk, 2% or skim. You can't drink buttermilk because it doesn't have a good shelf life, obviously. And, like, that's just, I can't even imagine. So what would you choose if you had whole milk, 2% or skim?
I probably would do whole milk.
You have to, right? You would get, I feel like, who would choose skim? I think dairy farmers would be like, what are you doing?
All right, which driver on the grid do you think picks skim?
I don't know. You know, I was looking at like the driver's choices. It's either whole or 2%.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good.
I don't think anyone really chooses skim.
Well, and I'm actually very surprised that, like, I understand it's the Dairy Association, but there are like vegans and vegetarians on the grid. And could you imagine being like,
maybe they say that it is, and like maybe they're just like, it's secretly almond milk or something.
Yeah, because someone had strawberry milk one year. And so it's like, I wonder, why hasn't anyone had chocolate milk? Because if I had a choice, it'd be chocolate milk.
Right? Because like, don't like bodybuilders, like when they say that like after your workout, like you should drink chocolate milk. So like.
But could you imagine you not only have to drink it, but so many of them like pour it on them. And then you spend hours in the baking sun doing the parade drive interviews. You probably smell like rotten eggs and milk by the end of the day, and your suit just reeks of just like, I think it's just fermented milk. They
probably don't care. Like, no, I mean, they absolutely don't care. They just keep doing it.
They won one of the biggest races of all time. They just won a shit ton of money.
Yeah.
And they are now going to be remembered forever. When we're worm food, their name will still be out there.
It's true.
So I get that. But I probably would pick whole milk, and then 2% would probably be my second option. But chocolate milk, 100%.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
That's so interesting. And they have I think they have like the Dairy Queen princess, and she gives the driver a kiss on the cheek as part of it. So it's a very
Midwestern thing.
Oh, 100%. If we were in Wisconsin, they wouldn't be drinking milk. They'd be eating cheese.
100%. Sargento would be all over that.
Instead of a wreath, they give you just the cheese head from the Packers. They're like, here you go.
There you go. Enjoy.
Oh, my goodness.
Here's the whey from the cheese.
You just have Brett Favre just there being like, here's some cheese.
Oh my God.
Oh goodness. But yeah, we're very excited about going. This is actually going to be my second Indy 500, but this is going to be my first full weekend for the 500. So we're going to be at Carb Day, which we're very excited about.
I'm very happy that you're a type A person and I'm a type B person, because I'm just, you sent me the itinerary with pictures and just like a list of like times and everything. And I'm just like, I am out of my league. And I am so grateful that you did that. So thank you. I really, really appreciate all the work that you put into it.
There's this trend right now. I think it's on TikTok, but I think it's also on Instagram, where it's like one person is pan to the camera and it's like, hi, I'm Monica. I planned the flights and the hotel. And then it pans to like the husband. It's like, hi, I'm Jim. And then it just cuts.
Yes. I'm the cut person. Yes. That's just me.
Oh, listen, IndyCar planning, because it's fun planning. I love it. And I was like Googling like what else is there to do outside of like the speedway. And I was like, oh, we can try this. So while I am excited to see All American Rejects and Bret Michaels' receding hairline, I'm actually super excited about going to the museum. I cannot wait to see the new museum. Like
the pictures of it look amazing. There's so many good things about it. You can I think you could do a pit stop, right? So I'm so excited for all that hands-on stuff.
Oh yeah. And then of course, we haven't confirmed times yet, but Hinch and Rossi will have a live session, so we'll definitely provide some content from that. It's probably going to be chaotic as best.
I would imagine.
And then we're also doing the Dallara tour. Yep. So I'm excited to see, let's see how the cars are made. And I wonder if maybe they'll give us a little insight of what 2027 might look like. But our next couple of episodes after today are going to be a little bit different. We're going to be on boots on the ground. There's going to be a lot of content, a lot of video, a lot of behind the scenes of the chaos that's the Indy 500. So stay tuned for that. It's going to go by so fast. And then we're going to be like, all right, what are we doing next year?
Exactly. We got to start planning for the next year. Exactly.
One thing I do want to do one day, I do want to get an RV and I want to camp in the infield. Like,
yes,
do the full thing, get an RV bus, and see what that experience is like.
Like after dark, I can't even imagine what chaos happens when everything closes. And
you just have hooting and hollering. And I'm blanking on the guy's name, but he is helping Hinch and Rossi do their live stream. He was saying, or live stream, their live session. And one year he was at the track, they were RVing with his wife and his dog got out.
Yes. Yeah.
And
I
the
heard
dog
that one too.
made it halfway across IMS. And I was like, how is that possible?
I know he said it was a black lab.
Yeah. I think the guy's name was Joey, but could you imagine like a black lab in the middle of darkness?
Yes.
Just being like, hey, and I think the dog's name had like a really fun, like actual name.
Happy. His name was Happy.
You're just running around going, happy. And everyone's like, yeah, I am.
We were until you came or something. Yeah.
But yeah, we're excited. We have paddock seats for this year, so hopefully we'll get to feel the cars like rumbling by. Yeah. And we're not going to get sunburnt because we have so much sunblock that we literally, if one of us gets sunblock, we're going to be like we'll
be on each other and make sure that because we don't joke about safety.
No,
right? We don't.
No, we love the AMR safety crew and sunblock. Yes. All right, awesome. Well, we did have one question. So it's from Tyler from Rhode Island. The question is if you were able to have a 3-car IndyCar team, what 3 drivers currently on the grid would you hire and why? And then let's try to not have the same drivers. So whoever goes first, the second person kind of gets screwed if they have the same drivers.
Okay. So when I thought about this question, I was like, what 3 team would be fun to be in like a reality show? So Connor Daly.
Oh yeah.
David Malukas.
Ooh.
And Santino Ferrucci. So, and a part of me, like, I kind of wanted their initials to be DTF, but there's nobody with a T, like, initial. So I guess we get DMF.
C?
Yeah.
Oh,
DT.
Daly. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah. The last names.
Oh my God.
I think that would be hilarious.
Really?
Like, there's like party boys, like they would be chaotic. Like, it would be a frat boy, pretty much.
Connor and Santino do not get along.
That would be hilarious. Even better. Way better TV.
Davy's just there being like, no.
Can we not?
No, can we not? Can we just please be friends?
That's like the only thing that I thought about when I saw that question. I'm like, who would?
Yeah. Oh, okay. So I'm going to think about it this way too. So I had Rossi, also for the comedic relief of just being like, no.
I'm not doing that.
I'm not doing that. Also being like, I'm not talking to you. Goodbye. So Rossi definitely. I think Scotty Mack, because one, he's a hoot. Yeah. He'll be fun. And I think Scotty and Rossi together would be interesting to see that dynamic.
The 2 different personalities, like opposites. I feel like.
And then I would probably do Stingray.
Okay.
Because he's so happy. I feel like he would be like the guys, maybe don't have that 15th beer.
Yeah, right. Like
we have a race.
Golden Retriever.
Yeah, we
like,
have a race
hey,
tomorrow, guys. Like, hey, let's give a minute. Let's give a minute. So I think that would be mine for sure. Sorry, I feel like we didn't pick Pato. We didn't pick Colton.
No, we did not. I wanted to go a little bit weird and just be like, who would be good on a reality show?
But listen, I need to figure this out, but I want to watch the Amazing Race season where Rossi and Connor were on it.
I didn't even realize that they were on it.
They were.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, Connor and Rossi were on the Amazing Race, and like,
how long ago was that?
This was like probably in like 2014, 2015. I don't know. Well, it was around that time. I don't remember if Alex won oh wait, it would have been after that so 2016, 2017 because Rossi won the 500 his rookie year. So if it was before that, he wasn't in IndyCar. But I want to see that dynamic.
Yeah.
So I got to figure out, I got to find some DVDs or where I can stream it because I think that'd be fun to watch.
That would be fun. We should.
There should be an IndyCar Big Brother show.
Oh, that would be good.
Just lock 27 drivers like in a mansion
And see what happens.
and just see what happens.
And make them compete in like different ways outside of a car and see who's like truly that athletic or the smarts or, you know, something like that.
That's how you win the championship.
Yes.
Like, Alex, we know you're going to win every race. We're going to do puzzles. We're going to do creepy crawly stuff, endurance. So that would be incredible. But thanks, Tyler, for your question. That was fun.
That's a good one.
So Indy 500 is technically kicking off now with practice. So you can watch all the days of practice on Fox, or excuse me, on FS1 or FS2 for the rest of the week. And then qualies start on Saturday. So on Saturday, you're going to have the entire field qualify, and the positions for 13th through 30th will be selected on Saturday. And then on Sunday, you're going to have your top 12 qualies, and the top 6 drivers will move on to the Fast 6, and then 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 will be selected. And then we have bump day for the drivers that are going to be competing for those last 3 slots. So one driver is 100% going to be bumped. So they will do that. And then after bump, literally once the person gets bumped, they start Fast 6, like the Fast 6, and then pole will be selected from that. And then you have some more practices, and then we'll be there.
So all those, like the top 12, the last chance, and the Fast 6, it's all going to be on Fox. Everything else, like the practice, will be on either FS1 or FS2.
Yeah. So it's also later in the day. I think what bump day is, I think at like 5 Eastern or something like that. Yeah. Like it's later, which I find really interesting that they do qualifying so late when the race starts at like 12:45.
Yeah.
Like it's a different temperature track and everything like that. So I find it interesting how much later in the day it is. Yeah. But my prediction for bump will be a Prema that's my prediction. One of them.
Probably. You are probably correct.
Oh God. While I like Robert Schwarzman, I love Callum Ilott, so I hope he gets to do it again.
Yeah.
All right. Well, then next time you see us, we'll be post Indy 500. So stay tuned for content. If you want to follow us on socials, Lap It Like It's Hot on Instagram, Threads, and BlueSky. And you can listen to our podcasts on Spotify and Apple Podcasts and watch us on YouTube. But thank you so much, everyone, for listening. Like and subscribe and follow us, and stay tuned for some awesome content coming your way.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for support.
Bye.